My name is Travis. I'm 27 years old, and I work from home editing videos for lifestyle vloggers, fake prank channels, and the occasional conspiracy nut who pays in crypto. It's not glamorous, but it pays the bills and lets me stay in my pajama pants until 3 p.m. without judgment. I live alone in a creaky old apartment building in a quiet residential neighborhood. The kind where you hear everything, from toilets flushing 3 floors up to the neighbor sneezing through the wall. My place is on the second floor. The walls are thin, the plumbing is questionable, and my social life is, well, let's just say my microwave sees more action than I do. Anyway, it all started on a Saturday morning. I had just finished my coffee and was in that weird limbo between maybe I'll be productive and I could nap for 7 hours. That's when I saw her, sitting right outside the building's main door like some kind of fluffy little gatekeeper to hell. Muffin. Muffin is the cat of Mrs. Grace, the old lady who lives on the ground floor. She wears a lavender robe, smells like menthol, and is about 80% deaf. Muffin, however, is 100% menace. Picture a snowball with legs and the soul of a war veteran. White, fluffy, with these soulless blue eyes like she's witnessed unspeakable horrors. Everyone in the building avoids her. Kids cross the hall when she walks by. Grown men flinch when she hisses. There's a rumor she made a delivery guy cry once. But for some reason, she's always been nice to me. I don't know why. Maybe she senses I'm too pathetic to pose a threat. Maybe she enjoys my editing playlist of lo-fi beats and regret. Either way, whenever she sees me, she lets out a tiny meow, curls around my leg, and doesn't try to puncture my arteries like she does with everyone else. So that Saturday, seeing Muffin all alone outside, I thought, you know what? I'll go say hi, give her a little pat on the head, remind myself what touch feels like. I slipped on my ancient slippers, the kind that are more whole than fabric, and shuffled downstairs in my ketchup-stained t-shirt and basketball shorts that haven't seen a basketball in years. Muffin looked up at me, purred, and blinked slowly. The universal cat sign for "you may approach, peasant." I knelt down and reached out. She purred louder. I smiled, and that's when things went wrong. Very wrong. So there I was, in full Saturday mode, bedhead, unshaven, dressed like I'd lost a bet, reaching out to pet Muffin, the one creature in this building who didn't recoil at the sight of me. She let out a soft MRRR and leaned into my hand. My cold, dead heart slightly warmed. Then, without warning, Muffin bolted straight into Mrs. Grace's apartment. The door was cracked open, just slightly, and that little demon ghost slipped right inside like she'd done 1,000 times. The door swung wide as she disappeared down the hallway. I froze. Now, any normal person would have backed away, shrugged, and let the cat live her best indoor life. But no, not me. I had to be the helpful neighbor. Okay, I mumbled to myself, already regretting my life choices. I'll just step inside, call her, and close the door behind her. Easy. Spoiler, not easy. I peeked into the apartment. Empty. Quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you feel like you've accidentally wandered onto the set of a horror movie. "Ma, Muffin," I whispered because for some reason I thought whispering would make this less weird. No response. I took one careful step inside. The floor creaked dramatically, like a haunted violin. I cringed. Another step. Still no sign of the cat. "Just call her and leave," I muttered. But I didn't leave. I moved deeper into the hallway. Barefoot, slippers flopping behind me, ketchup shirt flapping with each panic breath. Then I heard it. A muffled sound from the back of the apartment. A meow. Faint but clear. It came from the bathroom? Of course. So I did what no rational human being should ever do. I opened the bathroom door, and there she was. Muffin, sitting on the toilet. Not using it. Just perched on the closed lid, staring at me like I was the intruder. Her tail flicked slowly, judgingly. "Hey girl," I whispered. "Let's get you back outside, huh?" I took one step in. Just one. And that's when everything collapsed. No, literally. The laundry rack next to the sink, stacked with undergarments of every shape and shade, tipped over. Towels flew. A bra slapped me in the eye. And worst of all, a pair of large, Purple granny panties fluttered down like the world's saddest parachute and landed directly on my face. They stuck there, like a mask of shame. My hands were full, one holding the door, one reaching for the cat, so I couldn't even peel them off. I was just frozen, stunned, breathing through someone else's fabric softener. That's when I heard the front door open, and a voice, a very human voice. Oh dear God, what is going on in here? Imagine this. You're standing in your elderly neighbor's bathroom. You're barefoot. You're wearing a ketchup-stained t-shirt that says, "Don't talk to me until I've had my cereal." You've got her cat staring at you from a toilet like some furry gargoyle. And on your face, clinging like some cursed second skin, is a pair of enormous lavender granny panties. That was me. I tried to rip them off dramatically, like some kind of unmasking Scooby-Doo villain. But they clung. Static electricity, or maybe divine punishment. I don't know. When I finally peeled them off, my hair stood up like I just licked a socket. And standing there in the doorway was Mrs. Grace. Arms full of groceries, mouth hanging open, one orange rolling out of the bag and hitting the floor in slow motion. She screamed, not like a startled scream, like a blood-curdling, "There's a man in my bathroom with my undergarments on his face" kind of scream. I panicked. Wait, it's not what it looks like. Which, for the record, is exactly what someone says when it is very much what it looks like. I was trying to get Muffin. I blurted out, holding up the panties like some kind of surrender flag. She ran in, and she was on the toilet, and the laundry rack fell, and I looked down. The panties were still in my hand, like a prop, a weird prop. I was just trying to pet the cat. I practically shouted. Muffin, meanwhile, calmly walked past me and out the door like this was all part of her master plan. Mrs. Grace dropped the rest of her groceries. A can of peaches hit the floor with a thud. She was clutching her chest like she was either going to faint or summon a demon to destroy me. "Get out! Out! You pervert!" she yelled. And that was the exact moment when her adult son, Tommy, stormed into the hallway. 6'2", balding, wearing a sleeveless undershirt and pajama pants with Lightning McQueen on them. The man looked like he could bench press a fridge and had just been woken up from a nap he did not want interrupted. "Mom, what's happening?" "There's a man in the bathroom. With my underwear." Tommy's eyes locked on mine. His jaw tensed. I held up my hands, still holding the underwear, and said the dumbest thing I've probably ever said in my life. "This isn't what it looks like." Tommy didn't say a word. He just stared at me, eyes scanning from my panicked face to the panties in my hand to the open bathroom door to his traumatized mother hyperventilating into a plastic bag for Dollar General. And then he moved. Fast. The man charged like a linebacker in a Pixar-themed sleepwear collection. "Wait. No. This is a misunderstanding," I shouted, but all I got out before impact was, "I just wanted to pet the CA." Wham! He tackled me straight into the hallway wall. I went down like a wet sack of sadness and poor decisions. My back hit the floor. My head bounced off a rug that smelled like old dogs and lemon cleaning spray. The panties went flying. I let out an involuntary HNNNGH. He was on top of me now, pinning me down, one hairy arm across my chest, the other grabbing my wrist like I was some kind of undergarment bandit. "What the hell are you doing in my mom's apartment, freak?" he barked into my face. His breath smelled like pickles and rage. "I swear, this isn't. Look, I'm the guy from upstairs, second floor. Unit 204. I'm Travis. I just wanted to pet Muffin. Muffin, the cat. Your mom's cat. I swear on my Spotify subscription." Tommy squinted. "You're the editor guy? With the weird sandals?" "They're orthopedic," I wheezed. "Technically." He looked over his shoulder at his mom. She was shaking her head, fanning herself with a box of crackers. "I don't know," he muttered. He looks like the kind of guy who eats soup straight from a can. "That's not a crime," I protested from the floor. "That's just being lazy." Finally, after what felt like 3 hours of humiliation and crushed ribs, he eased off me. "Stay here," he said, pointing a finger in my face. "We're calling security." And stupid, broken, barefoot me just nodded. Because honestly, what else do you do when you've been tackled by a 35-year-old man in Lightning McQueen pajama pants while holding your neighbor's underwear? You sit on the floor like the mess that you are and wait for building security. 5 minutes later, I was sitting on the cold tile of the stairwell, just outside Mrs. Grace's apartment. My hair was a disaster. My t-shirt had a rip in it. I swear wasn't there before. I'd lost one slipper in the tackle, and my knee throbbed like I owed it money. Across from me stood Tommy, arms crossed, still in Lightning McQueen pajama pants, glaring at me like he was just waiting for an excuse to tackle me again. Mrs. Grace peeked out from behind him, holding Muffin like a hostage. "She's purring," she whispered to Tommy, as if Muffin's affection for me was some sign of devil worship. Then came the footsteps. Security. Now, when I say security, I don't mean some serious dude in tactical gear. I mean Larry, a retired mall cop who now watches over our building with the enthusiasm of a hungover koala. He wears a windbreaker that says Security Enforcement Response Team, which sound impressive until you realize the acronym spells SERT, and his badge is laminated and peeling. All right, Larry grunted as he climbed the last step. "Which one of you jokers made me leave the break room?" "I was watching Judge Judy." Tommy pointed at me like he was in a police lineup. "This guy broke into my mom's apartment and put her underwear on his face." Larry blinked. I opened my mouth to object, but couldn't find words strong enough to fight that sentence. I just sat there, holding my single slipper like it was a piece of my lost dignity. Larry scratched his chin. "You want to explain, son?" "Okay," I said, taking a deep breath. "Here's what happened. I saw Muffin, the cat. She was outside. I just wanted to say hi. You know, like a friendly pat. She ran into the apartment. The door was open. I followed. Laundry fell. Something hit me. Next thing I know, underwear. Face. Screaming. Tackle. Now I'm here. Slipperless." Larry stared at me, then turned to Mrs. Grace. "Did he take anything?" She narrowed her eyes at me, like I might have stolen her youth. "No, but he's seen my bras." Emotionally, I added, "So have I." Larry sighed. "All right, look, nobody's pressing charges. And unless someone's missing a toaster or a kidney, I'm going to chalk this up to whatever the hell this is." Tommy huffed. Mrs. Grace clutched Muffin tighter. I stood up slowly, one slipper flopping, one bare foot squeaking against tile. Larry pointed at me. "Just don't go into people's homes, all right? Even if it's for a cat." I nodded, defeated. As I limped back upstairs, Muffin let out a soft, smug meow. She knew. Oh, she knew. I really thought it was over. I thought I could just crawl back into my apartment, throw away the slipper I lost in battle, and emotionally disintegrate in peace. But life and apartment complexes with security cameras had other plans. See, what I didn't know is that there's a motion-activated security camera above the front entrance. A new one, installed just 2 weeks ago after someone kept stealing Amazon packages, still unsolved. By the way, justice for Mrs. Huang's chia pet. And that camera caught everything, not just the part where I stepped inside the apartment. No, it recorded me standing outside, nervously scratching my neck like I was planning a burglary, me looking both ways like a cartoon raccoon, me creeping inside barefoot in my sad ketchup shirt, me disappearing down the hall, and then about 2 minutes later, me walking back out with women's underwear on my face, just calmly, like that was a totally normal part of my Saturday routine. To make it worse, the footage got emailed to the building group chat. Automatically. Yep, our building uses one of those smart systems where alerts go out if there's unusual movement in shared areas. And this, apparently, qualified as severely unusual. That night, I got 5 texts. Green circle, dude, are you okay? Blue circle, was that you in the footage? Red circle, I always knew you were weird, but not panty burglar weird. Purple circle, LMAO. Bro, legendary. Yellow circle from my landlord. Let me know if you need help moving out. Grimacing face. Even the building manager weighed in. Please refrain from entering other residents' homes uninvited, and from handling their undergarments. Thank you. I tried to explain. I really did. I even sent a follow-up message with way too many emojis trying to clarify it was all a cat-related misunderstanding, but it was too late. The damage was done. From that moment forward, I wasn't Travis, the video editor from 204. I was Panty Man. Larry, the security guy, started calling me that casually, like it was my legal name. Morning, Panty Man, he'd say when I picked up mail. A delivery driver once asked if I was that guy from the video. Even my microwave beeped in a judgmental tone now. 3 days. That's how long I stayed in self-imposed exile. 3 full days of pure isolation. Curtains drawn. Phone on silent. Microwave burritos. Netflix on autoplay, asking me if I was still watching like a passive-aggressive life coach. And yes, I was still watching Netflix. Let me rot in peace. I didn't even go outside for trash duty. I just left the bag inside my door, pretending it didn't exist. My hallway started to smell faintly like guilt and sour milk. And then there was a sound, a scratch at my door. Soft, deliberate. I froze. Either it was a ghost, or Mrs. Grace had finally come to finish me off with a rolling pin. Another scratch, then a meow. I opened the door a crack, and there she was, Muffin, sitting like the Queen of England, fluffy and unbothered. Her eyes locked onto mine like, "You survived." But here's the weird part. Right next to her, sitting neatly on a napkin, was a muffin. A real one, like the baked kind. Blueberry. What was happening? Was this a threat? A peace offering? A symbol? A test? I looked around. No sign of Mrs. Grace. No humans in sight. Just Muffin, looking smug. And the muffin, looking moist. I knelt down. "Did you bring this?" I whispered. Muffin blinked slowly. And then, very deliberately, she turned her back and walked away. Tail up, regal, like she had just delivered divine justice and would now return to her cloud to nap. I stared at the muffin, then back at the hallway, then back at the muffin, and like the broken man I had become, I picked it up, and I ate it. It was delicious, still warm somehow, moist, soft, and oddly comforting. A little lemon zest in the batter. An emotional muffin, the kind that whispers, maybe things will be okay, maybe not soon, but someday. I didn't see Muffin again that day, but I did put the napkin in a drawer. Like a relic. You'd think after being tackled, shamed, and branded Panty Man by the entire building, the worst was behind me. You'd be wrong. It was Wednesday. I had finally worked up the courage to leave my apartment in daylight. I wore a hoodie 2 sizes too big and sunglasses indoors, like a zealous celebrity avoiding TMZ. I had one mission: take the trash out and grab oat milk. Nothing more. I tiptoed down the hallway, pressed the elevator button, and waited. The door opened with its usual wheeze, and there he was. Tommy, standing alone in the elevator, holding a mop and a bucket, wearing, I kid you not, another pair of Lightning McQueen pajama pants. We made eye contact. He blinked. I blinked. The elevator doors began to close again, slowly, like the universe itself was trying to spare me. But I stepped in. I mean, what was I going to do? Take the stairs and risk running into someone else who saw the footage? The doors closed. Silence. I stared straight ahead. Tommy stared at me. The elevator began its slow descent, with the agonizing speed of a sinking ship. He cleared his throat. "So?" I nodded. More silence. He tapped his bucket with a mop handle. "So, you still editing stuff?" Why was he making small talk? What kind of psychopath makes small talk in a post-underwear incident? Yeah, I muttered. Mostly travel vlogs and hair tutorials lately. Another pause. Then he said it. "You know, for what it's worth, my mom did say she overreacted a little." I blinked. "Really?" She said she could tell you weren't, like, trying to rob the place. Just dumb. I didn't know if that was a compliment or an insult. She also said, he continued, that she watched the footage 8 times trying to figure out if you sniffed anything. I blurted. Tommy raised a hand. "Hey, I believe you. You looked more like you were trying not to die." I nodded solemnly. I was. Another beat. Then, out of nowhere, he asked, "Want to come over Saturday? We're doing chili dogs and board games. My cousin's bringing Caton." "What?" I just blinked at him. He shrugged. "You seem all right. Weird, but all right." I hesitated. "Will there be cats?" "No. I'm in." Ding. Ground floor. The doors opened. He stepped out. Turned back to me. "Bring napkins. And don't wear that shirt again." Then he walked off. And for the first time in a week, I smiled. Just when I thought my accidental panty incident was beginning to fade from memory, like a bad dream, or a weird mole I chose to ignore, I opened my email one morning and saw the subject line. "Incoming envelope August tenant newsletter," important updates, community highlights, and Muffin news. I should have known. I should have deleted it immediately. But like every person who touches a hot stove twice, just to make sure it was really hot the first time, I clicked. The newsletter started innocently enough. An announcement about pest control on the 3rd floor. A reminder not to flush non-flushables. This is somehow a monthly reminder. A blurry photo of Larry, our security guy, giving a thumbs up in front of the building like he was being held hostage. Then came the tenant spotlight. I'll just quote it for you, word for word. Bust in silhouette tenant spotlight. Travis from Unit 204. You may know Travis from his work as a video editor, or from a recent incident involving a cat, a laundry rack, and an enthusiastic misunderstanding. Travis has shown impressive humility, resilience, and commitment to not pressing charges after being mistaken for a pervert. In the spirit of forgiveness and possibly confusion, we'd like to thank Travis for reminding us that misunderstandings can be cleared up with open communication, and that underwear should be stored securely. Paw Print special thanks to Muffin the cat for being a chaos agent. If you see Travis around, give him a wave. Or a muffin, not a pair of underwear. We asked him. He said no. I sat there staring at the screen, wondering if I could sue myself for defamation. Then came the messages. Purple circle, hey local celebrity. Smiling face with sunglasses. Green circle, they really name-dropped you in the newsletter, LOL. Blue circle, I left a banana muffin at your door. Please don't cry. Red circle, still got that video though skull. To make things worse, someone slid an actual printed copy of a newsletter under my door with Panty Man 4 Prez written in highlighter. I taped it to my fridge. Because at this point, you either own the cringe, or the cringe owns you. It's been 2 weeks. The memes have slowed down. Tommy now greets me with a nod instead of a full-on tackle. Mrs. Grace no longer flinches when I walk past her door, though she does keep a firm hand on Muffin, just in case. And Muffin? She visits my door every other day now. Just sits there, waiting, judging, smug. Sometimes I let her in. Sometimes we sit on the couch together in silence like 2 war survivors who don't need to speak to understand. Sometimes she swipes at my socks for no reason. Once she licked my elbow. I think we're friends now. Sort of. And the nickname? Panty Man. It stuck. Larry still calls me that with pride. Like I'm a mascot. Even the UPS guy gives me a little salute and goes, "What's up, PM?" I've stopped correcting people. Resistance is futile. The incident is basically legend now. Some people think it was a prank. Others think I'm an underground performance artist. One guy on the 5th floor genuinely believes I'm running a social experiment called the Muffin test. I'm not, but maybe I should. I even got a new t-shirt in the mail from an anonymous neighbor. Black, minimalist font. I just wanted to pet the cat. I wear it sometimes when I walk down to the lobby. And people smile. Not in a mocking way anymore. More like they could get it. Because deep down, we've all been Travis at some point. All it takes is one bad decision, one small act of kindness, one poorly placed laundry rack. And suddenly, you're standing in your neighbor's bathroom with underwear on your face, being tackled by a 35-year-old in Lightning McQueen pants. Okay, maybe not all of us, but you get the idea.